Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the world. Now, you're probably wondering, why should I watch over here instead of anywhere else? And that's because over there, they don't care about what you have to say. They say this all the time. They talk down to us. They think we're just a bunch of clowns on YouTube, Twitter. But I think it's the opposite. I think we know exactly what we're talking about. So I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get some discussions. Let's get some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. So without further ado, let's get to it. We're watching a clip of First Things First, talking about the Bucks and, how they're kind of in trouble. Not kind of. They are definitely in trouble at a crucial time of the season, right? It is time for them to be firing at all cylinders, and it's anything but that. And I've talked about before that I think that the Bucks were grossly overrated, and that I think Giannis is brilliant and amazing and awesome and it's fun to watch, but he is not a true level superstar on the level of, say, a LeBron James, Steph Curry, KD, any of these other players, Jokic now. And I don't even mean like Giannis's talent right now compared to, say, like an older Steph Curry. I just mean in general. They're in different categories. Giannis is an athletic freak, right? Greek freak. In terms of his actual basketball pure talent, it's just not there. And he's not the savant that, say, a KD or a PG-13 or, obviously LeBron is. And, to really connect those, to really merge that together, it's just not there for him. That's what it takes. And that's what it takes to win in basketball games. And I keep always using this example of it's a minute 30 to go. You're down by 4. The perfect example of this was watching the Sixers play against the Spurs last night. And you could see the basketball IQ that you needed to navigate all of these various situations that, again, you see that's what made the Warriors so brilliant during their run. That's always what made the Spurs brilliant back in their heyday with Pop and all the very pieces, right? It was just always very smart, high-level basketball, high IQ basketball that, quite frankly, the Bucks and Giannis has never played. And that's not necessarily meant to be a knock on Giannis. It just is what it is. So let's take a listen to see what Nick has to say, and we'll break it down further from there.
Knicks by 14. Despite being under 500 with Doc, Giannis says they are not a losing team, but frustration is starting to take its toll on the Bucks, even off the court. Take a listen.
When you go back home, you cannot sit down and watch Amazon Prime and be relaxed and, enjoy your steak and, I don't know, some guys drink your wine or your beer, whatever they drink, I don't know. Or for my case, do my Legos. Now, when I try to put my Legos in place, I'm like more frustrated, I'm like, hurting my fingers.
Locked in. Nick, do you officially want to change your pick? Oh, bro. Okay.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yo, do not try it. Look.
Okay, you asked me. Now let me go, please.
I know, but
you did your whole weird and wonderful the tap dancing. Let me go, please. Did Giannis seem concerned? Or did Giannis almost seem oddly calm and serene about what's happening? Because I know what you're thinking.
Calm and serene, he sounded lost. Talking about Legos and people eating steak and drinking. He sounded like, I'm lost. That's what that sounded like to me. Not calm and relaxed and everything's all good. More like, this sucks and I don't know what to say or do right now. That's what it sounds like to me.
Thing is, since we've last talked about the Bucks, they lost to Toronto. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, Dame didn't play in that game. And then they just lost to the Knicks with Giannis and Dame playing. And so this is 4 straight losses, 3 awful losses. And then the Knicks game Knicks are a good team, but they didn't play well in that Knicks game, they being Milwaukee. So how can you possibly believe in them? And the answer is you can't unless, of course.
Don't say it.
This is part of a plan.
This is so weak.
Okay, well, let me
Not on your part, but
let me just
I
got to
hear this.
Okay, I don't know if you, Brew, have been locked into the Philadelphia 76ers, but I have been. They look awful scary.
Yeah.
They just got a great win without Embiid. Embiid's playing great. And I don't know how closely you've been looking at the standings, but the Sixers are not going to be able to climb out of that play-in spot. They're going to be the 7. They're going to win that play-in game and end up staying the 7. So if you're Milwaukee, I'm just curious. I don't know. Would you rather be the 2, or would you rather fall to the 3 line because the NBA has not adopted pick your own opponent at playoffs, and because of that they are incentivized to lose, get the Pacers in round 1. So of course, I'd be a fool not to take your olive branch if I thought this was the real Milwaukee Bucks. But instead, they are doing the smart thing, which is ducking Philly in round 1.
Are you buying this?
Ducking
Because I'm
Philly
not
in round
buying
1.
I kind of buy it.
Yeah, why would you want Philly in round
cowardly.
1? Okay,
That's
well,
I'm going to give Doc
call 'em the
Rivers,
Lions
Giannis,
then, but it's
Dame
smart.
more credit than that. They are not cowards.
It's not
You
about-
can't control it anyway.
What do you mean?
You don't know where you're going to end up.
Especially because no true players, because let's say all of you guys have tried to defend, if this is a lose-lose situation for Bucks fans and for Giannis fans, because I said Giannis is not that dog. I said this like a month or so ago, and a lot of people took issue with that, which I understand. You're a Bucks fan, Giannis fan, I get it. And I'm a Giannis fan. Okay, rooted for him to win the finals, was all into it, was screaming at the TV, watched it with my mom, was all about it. But if that's true, that they're losing on purpose, imagine if Kobe Bryant was losing on purpose or Michael Jordan. The answer is no. Never. Absolutely not. And let's say they didn't want to, but they accepted it. What messaging is that to your team? Hey, we're a really great team. We can win a championship, but let's lose on purpose because the Sixers are scary. We don't want to face the Sixers. What are you talking about? Anyone who's played high-level competition sports knows, yes, sometimes there is another team that you don't necessarily want to face. But it is not one of those things that you acknowledge in the locker room or on the bus or the plane or wherever. You're not like, hey, we don't really want to face these guys because we know they're really, really good. And there is a good chance that they can beat us. No, you keep telling yourselves, we got this, we can put this together, let's go. And now if you do the opposite and say, hey, this seems really, really good, it would be better if we don't face them. What messaging are you sending to the locker room, to your players, to the role players, let alone the stars? So either way, it's a lose-lose situation. Because either all of that is true, which is just a disgrace, or it's not true, and they are trying their best, and they're just not able to win. So either way, it's a bad look. Either way, it's a disaster for the Bucks. There's no way to spin it positively. None. Zero. Not at all. So this idea is just so absurd to me.
You do.
No,
you lose and you go fall.
What's
This
to
is the
stop
easiest thing you can
Cleveland
do.
or Orlando or any of the Knicks, any of these teams from thinking that?
You play Orlando twice.
So
You just
Orlando
lose.
could think the same
That-
thing, and we'll lose.
Orlando's young and dumb.
No.
They're just going to win.
You
They're like, oh, look at us.
play-
We're a 2 seed.
You play who's in front. In fact, honestly, look, I agree that Philly's dangerous.
Dangerous.
And if Philly gets Milwaukee in round 1,
I just need to say that they're all talking about Philly being dangerous. Go back in time. I said that they were going to be dangerous the moment Joel Embiid got hurt. The moment he went down, I said, this is a good thing. They are going to be awesome come time playoffs because Joel Embiid is going to be healthy and rested and ready to go. And boy, did I get a lot of hate for that one. And now look at this. 2 months later.
right
victory
now,
lap.
gonna
I'm
win.
taking the Sixers.
Yeah,
All right?
agreed. That's why you got to get away from it.
But don't you think the best?
Wait, they said
turn-
that they would take the Sixers?
Agreed. That's why you
But-
got to get away from it.
Look, I agree that Philly's dangerous.
Dangerous.
And if Philly gets Milwaukee in round 1, right now,
Philly's gonna
I'm
win.
taking the Sixers.
I called them out. I called Nick Wright out when he was saying all this, when he was like that Philly can't do anything. And I said, that's ridiculous. I said, I bet you if they played the Bucks, I got Philly in that game. I said, I got Philly anyone. And I said, except for maybe the Celtics, which I think would be competitive. And I said, I don't know. I have to wait on that one. So the fact that they're saying that now, man, I just sometimes do. Like Marcel says, sometimes I do just tell the truth too soon.
Yeah, agreed. That's why you got to get away from it.
But don't you think the best time to play the Sixers, if you have to face them, would probably be early?
No.
Because you don't
You
want
want Embiid to get
think
hurt.
You don't want
banged
Embiid
up.
back in the
Yeah,
flow.
he's still kind of. I mean,
I don't want
playing
to play
great.
the Sixers at all. I don't want to play them at all. Hold on. Be honest, bro. It's smart strategy.
No,
It's not.
no.
It's a horrible strategy. Can I show you Bucks
15 and 17.
under Doc Rivers? And this isn't recent. This is pre-All-Star. So when did they start this plan exactly?
2 weeks ago.
In your mind, okay. Then Doc is executing it perfectly. You should change the
You should be
picture
smiling.
into a happy one. And you know what he also did? This is just, I don't respect it. No, I don't like it, but I respect it.
Wilds
Bucks
is the best.
host the Celtics tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Either
get
way,
ready.
he gets to come out and be like, "Told you."
What do you mean?
Told you they lost. I told you. Working exactly. Oh, they won. Told you they can beat anybody.
Hey, Wilds, I don't appreciate you implying to the audience that I'm strategically planning out my takes like that. I did a deep dive into the tiebreakers and the standings. I realized Philly's not going to be able to
What are
pass
you rooting
Indiana.
for tomorrow night, Bucks Celtics? What do you hope happens?
I know he's being tongue in cheek there about, I don't like that you're implying that I'm, pre-planning my takes like that. And that's exactly what I always call Nick out for doing. That's why he makes some of the takes he does. He is a gambler at heart. He plays poker, all of that, as well as sports betting. And so his takes are always very strategic because he's either picks, the favorite because he knows this is a good bet. And so if I say this, then I'm going to be right. And then also, when there seems to be like a good underdog bet, what he does is he doubles, triples, quadruples down. Because if he's right, it gets to give the perception of, I am a genius. He did this last season and failed spectacularly when he said, I trust CJ Stroud more than Lamar Jackson. CJ Stroud is going, the Texans are going to beat the Ravens by like 30. I mean, he did. He gave something like outrageous, like a very high score, that they were going to demolish them. And, what it is it's like, if he ends up being right, he gets to do a massive victory lap, way bigger of a victory lap than the clowning he would get if he's wrong and loses, right? Because that just gets skipped over, right? He was wrong about that. The Ravens obviously beat the Texans, and then he was able to just to be like, hey, Lamar Jackson really pulled it out. CJ Stroud is young, yada, yada, yada. Just wait until next season. You get to just skip over it. And then you move on to the next thing. How about that, Chiefs-Bills game or whatever? I forget, right? I think that was at the same time, That was crazy game, wasn't it? Ha, ha, ha. You see, I was right about that. You skip over it. But if the Texans ended up winning that game, it is, I am a god. You all said the Ravens were going to win, and I told you they weren't. See, it's all strategy. It's all strategy. It's not always what he actually thinks will happen. It's what will give him the most attention, what will make him the most popular, most famous, like whatever. As long as the eyes are on him, that's all that matters. And that is what a take like this does, right? Not even implying, just straight up saying that the Bucks are losing on purpose. Giannis is losing on purpose. Because I'm going to make a video, obviously, as I'm making it right now, and the title that I'm going to post is, Nick Wright's insane take, Milwaukee Bucks losing on purpose, right? That's some eyeballs. That's clickbait. That's why he does it. And, we all just go along for the ride for it. And it's a shame. And on one side, it's fun. I do, right? On one side, that is a more fun take to like dispute and argue with and debate with because it's entertainment, right? That's what these shows are. These shows are entertainment. It's not always meant for deep, thought out analysis. But sometimes it goes too far, right? It becomes a caricature of itself. It becomes a cartoon. And to me, it's kind of tough to have it both ways. Do you want to praise yourself for being entertaining, or do you want to, or pride yourself for being entertaining, or do you want to pride yourself for deep, well thought out analysis? Because I don't know if you can always do both. And that's why I always try to sell this channel on the idea of like, there's a middle ground. I want to embrace the fandom, have fun in it. That's why I give my little thing of like, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately let's just have some fun. Like, I want to embrace all that. I want to do breakdowns, but not to the point where the deep analysis is so deep where I'm like showing you all these numbers and this guy is 0.74342 and this other guy is 0.63454. Like, I don't care enough about that. Like, that's not as entertaining to me, and I don't think it's as entertaining to you guys as well. So it's always a balance. But it goes too far if I came up here and said, Joel Embiid actually tore his meniscus on purpose. He knew he was going to get hurt, but he saw that if he got hurt, he would have 2 months to recover. Like, it's like you start wearing a tinfoil hat and it starts to get too absurd, too clownish for my liking personally. And if I was watching this show alone and I was just driving in the car, having it on in the background, which I often, used to do before I started doing this channel, or if I have it on the background while I'm cooking or eating food or whatever, this wouldn't annoy me, right? This would be like, this is stupid. Like, this is not entertaining. This is entertaining for me now because I get to talk about it, and hopefully you guys then comment, and now it becomes a conversation about it. So it's a little bit more interesting. But like a lot of you, I assume we consume a lot of these shows alone, right? It's usually like on YouTube or on TV or wherever, and it's usually not with like other people. We're usually not watching First Things First with our friends or like with our parents or whatever, however old you are, or our children. Like, it's just usually like a very individual, intimate, relationship that we have with these people on TV, right? Like I said, it's when you're doing work or driving or whatever. So when you hear a take like that, I mean, doesn't your head just feel like it's going to like explode where you're just like, what? What are you talking about? What an insane take. And it was that feeling is why I started this channel. Because I wanted to be like, I just want to scream and talk to people about this. No different than when I watch a football game and I go, oh my God, that play was amazing. I got to talk to someone about it. Which is why then you jump on, line or on TV and you see Nick Wright talk about that crazy catch that, some wide receiver makes or whatever it is. And to me, that's what these moments are like, but just a different level of it. But yeah, no matter how you want to break it down, it's a bad look for the Bucks because they're either losing because they're not good enough or they're losing on purpose, and it's just like crazy. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. Please let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think that this is a real take by Nick? Do you think this is nonsense? Do you think the Bucks are actually losing on purpose? Or do you think, hey man, they are good to go, let's go? Let me know in the comments below. And please don't forget to subscribe. We are building such an amazing community here, and I would really love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. Thank you so much, and see you next time.